The head of student affairs arrived and dismissed the crowd, but at that moment, Ingmin suddenly lost control of her emotions and locked herself in a glass room. No matter how the teachers tried to calm her down, she only grew more emotional, and the situation escalated further, eventually alarming Shihao, who was guiding a group of VIP parents around the school. Shihao rushed over to intervene, but just then, Fuxiu grabbed a chair and smashed the glass door, kicking it down completely and saying something to Xiumin. The wealthy parents were frightened by Fuxiu's violent behavior and demanded his expulsion. When Xiumin returned to class, the students asked if Fuxiu would be expelled. Even Fuxiu asked. Xiumin questioned whether what he did was right, but Fuxiu confidently insisted he was saving someone in danger. He argued that a glass room that separated students based on grades should have been destroyed long ago, and that schools should treat every student equally, not with bias. His words were supported by most of the students, though some still believed they were just background characters for the elite class. Xiumin disagreed with them and explained her thoughts, which deeply inspired the students, making it seem like she had taken Fuxiu's side. At the disciplinary hearing, Xiumin defended Fuxiu, saying that while he did damage school property, it wasn't serious enough for expulsion. He should instead be punished with school service. But the board members didn't accept this and accused her of covering for a dangerous person. They all agreed that expelling Fuxiu was best, but Xiumin calmly promised that if Fuxiu made another mistake, she'd take full responsibility. Now see how this high school boy flirted with his teacher. When she walked by, he casually dropped a note on the floor. The teacher picked it up and calmly continued teaching, but Fuxiu was thrilled. When she opened the note, a sweet smile appeared on her face. Soon after re-enrolling, because he smashed the glass to save Xiumin, the board members were strongly displeased. Luckily, Xiumin used her teacher qualifications as a guarantee, and Fuxiu was not expelled. Xiumin was transferred from the elite class to wildflower class and became Fuxiu's deskmate. One day, Xiumin noticed that student Xiongyu hadn't shown up for 3 days and couldn't be reached by phone. From classmates, she learned Xiongyu had been working at a bar to support her family. Xiumin went to the bar, alone, and coincidentally ran into Fuxiu. Together, they saw Xiongyu arguing with the bar owner about unpaid wages. Disgusted, Xiongyu scolded the unethical boss who then angrily pushed her down. Luckily, Fuxiu caught her in time and tightly held her hand. The bar owner, getting annoyed, pushed both of them, causing glass shards to cut Fuxiu's face. Fuxiu then used the injury to threaten the owner with assault charges, forcing him to pay Xiongyu what he owed. Xiongyu was deeply moved by Fuxiu's actions. And just as she was about to leave, Xiongyu held her hand, showing that deep down, Xiongyu was actually worried about Fuxiu, but then she let go, and gently reminded him to be careful. Later, Xiongyu sat alone in a convenience store, drinking away her sorrow, as she recalled the moment when Fuxiu tightly grabbed her wrist and how her heart had fluttered. Her constant murmuring made the store clerk unable to watch any longer. So the clerk decisively dialed Fuxiu's number for her, though thankfully Fuxiu didn't answer. Then, Wuxihao happened to come across Xiongyu and saw her completely drunk. On the way to take her home, Xiongyu even lay down on the car hood, and Wuxihao surprisingly lay beside her. And in that moment, her feelings for Xiujin once again turned ambiguous. But Fuxiu, thinking Xiujin called him because something was wrong, unexpectedly witnessed this heartbreaking scene from afar, which made him feel extremely disappointed. The next day, Fuxiu went to the gym to do his school service and saw Xiahao practicing fencing. Bursting with rage, Fuxiu started mocking her, his words laced with hostility, and a fight nearly broke out. Even though Fuxiu's wooden sword was cut in half, he still came out slightly ahead. But once again, Xiujin saw this and misunderstood, thinking Fuxiu was bullying Xiahao and started scolding him. At that moment, Xiahao showed a smug and sinister expression, and Fuxiu angrily questioned Xiujin. But in the end, he could only watch helplessly as they walked away, repeating the heartbreak from 9 years ago. Once again, Xiujin pushed him to rock bottom. Fuxiu started to question whether coming back to school had been a mistake. Meanwhile, a girl suddenly put down her chopsticks and furiously threw another student's food on the floor, angrily scolding her. Though Ximin tried her best to stand up for Fuxiu, the fact that he was labeled a juvenile delinquent couldn't be changed. As Dongying comforted Ximin, another student made a nasty remark about Fuxiu, which stirred up even more chaos. Fuxiu, these words echoed again and again. Fuxiu declared, "I'm starting over like a student from the very beginning." Shocked, Xiujin nearly bled from being emotionally overwhelmed. After 9 years, once she and Fuxiu reconciled, Fuxiu's sleep even turned sweet. He wore a blissful, love-struck smile, ready to return to campus full of energy. He even acted love-crazy while eating. When teacher Xiujin happily came to class, she was puzzled not to see Fuxiu present. At that moment, she blushed like a young girl. That night, Fuxiu visited Xiujin's home, bringing a lavish midnight meal, but her stubborn nature made her refuse. So, Fuxiu left the food at her door and turned away. Unable to resist, Xiujin eventually sneaked the food inside when no one was looking, unaware that Fuxiu had seen it all from afar. Fuxiu then decided to officially confess. During class, he passed her a note. While Xiujin pretended to find it childish, she still showed up. Seeing the table covered in heart-shaped candles, she panicked about fire safety and tried to blow them out. Fuxiu quickly appeared in front of her and confessed his love with all his heart, then pulled out a ring he had prepared 9 years ago and tried to put it on her finger, but the ring was too small.
It doesn't fit. It's too tight. Did you gain weight?
Yes, I got fat.
That's great.
Beaming with joy, Fuxiu presented her with 100 roses. The two of them went on a happy street date but unexpectedly ran into some of their students. Sujin quickly pulled Fuxiu behind her, panicking, but Fuxiu found it thrilling. What they didn't know was that someone had been secretly following them, and the one behind it all was Wu Shihao. Ever since Sujin rejected his confession, he hadn't given up. He approached her again and declared his love, but Sujin firmly rejected him again, saying she only loved Jiang Fuxiu. 9 years ago, your lies tore us apart. You hurt Fuxiu deeply. I will protect him for the rest of my life.
Enraged, Wu Shihao threatened her. I'll make things hard for you. Is that all you think I can do? If I didn't act like this, would you just see me as another classmate? A school official? Someone meaningless? I hate you. Shihao stormed home, unaware his mother had already sensed everything. She warned him not to get emotional over a mere ordinary teacher. But Shihao lashed back, telling her to stay out of it. Just as she tried to scold him, he yelled, "Don't touch me. If you do, I'll destroy everything myself." Then the spoiled heir drank a spoonful of abalone soup and immediately began vomiting. Turns out he had a severe allergy to shellfish. Earlier, his mother had lovingly peeled shrimp for him as part of a luxurious seafood feast, but he hadn't eaten it right away. Why aren't you eating? Are you still upset? Shihao, feeling cornered, ate it anyway and drank the soup.
While she was answering the phone, he started having an allergic reaction. His mother, who always forced perfectionism onto him, never even learned what she was eating.
Shihao, feeling cornered, ate it anyway and drank the soup. Food he was allergic to.
Since childhood, she had drilled into him that he must be flawless, punishing him harshly for the slightest mistake, which made Shihao blindly obedient over time. But what she didn't realize was that her twisted love would eventually ruin her son's future. After learning Shihao had confessed and been rejected, the mother prepared to intervene. But to her shock, Shihao was finally willing to rebel against her. In order to break up Sujin and Fuxiu, Shihao went as far as reinstating Jin Mingho, who had a history of embezzlement which made Sujin deeply uneasy. Because years ago, she had secretly given Jin Mingho 50 million won to help with her promotion. Fuxiu confronted Wu Shihao and warned him, 9 years ago, you caused me and Sujin to break up. No matter what tricks you try now, you can't stop us from loving each other. Just because you're the chairman's son doesn't mean you can do whatever you want. That evening, Sujin invited Fuxiu to dinner and confessed that Shihao had just professed his love to her again, and she feared he would use Jin Mingho to stir up more trouble. Fuxiu then offered to withdraw from school voluntarily, but Sujin strongly opposed it. Later, when Sujin took the drunk Fuxiu home, she entered his house and confessed their relationship to his mother. But instead of being upset, Fuxiu's mother felt heartache for what Sujin had endured these past 9 years, shock and anger. And in the chaos that followed, Sujin was left to stay at Fuxiu's house for the night, a gesture that deeply moved her. The next morning, with his hair still messy, Fuxiu rushed out of the room and was surprised to see Sujin sitting at the breakfast table with his family, eating together in a warm and sweet moment.